Hey, Jessica.
Hey, Phillip Shepard, the specialist. Welcome to myFM.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you giving me the invite.
Yes.
And I love Canadians. Canadians are buying my book and gifting it more than I had anticipated. I think it's the 40th most gifted item in Canada.
You know why? It's because we love you.
That's why I feel the love. I feel the love. Thank you.
You're welcome. So how are you? How has life been since Survivor?
Well, I tell you what, it's been great. You know, having the opportunity to come back and play the game the way I did, got to bring back Stealth, us, and put together a coalition that was so powerful that, you know, Malcolm used both idols, along with his compadre with individual immunity, to make me the 10th person out of the game this season. That tells you how effective and powerful I was in the game. And then to step out of the game and feel all the love that's being posted from Canadians, in particular on my website, and, you know, the tweets that are coming from me, and the fact, as I said, they're buying my book in record numbers, the specialist, the Costa Rica job. And I've been doing lots of interviews, and it's been overwhelming, actually, to feel the love from all the fans. I'm so grateful to Survivor and CBS for, you know, giving me a second chance at it at 54 years old. It's great to have that opportunity. I mean,
no, that's awesome. So do you miss your Stealth or Us alliance?
I do. I do miss my Stealth R alliance, but you know, one of the things about anytime you put an effective organization together, you know that going forward that there's a possibility that it can still move forward, you know, in the game, given the impact that you were having in the game. So we're going to all have to wait and see how that plays out. But you know, we're hopeful that those that are out there that, you know, enjoyed playing with me will continue to do well in the game. I've got my fingers crossed for everybody.
Good. So let's go back to that last tribal council when Malcolm did pull out his 2 hidden immunity idols. What was your immediate reaction to that?
To be honest, it was complete, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you going to do this for the 10th person in the game? I'm a 54 guy. You figure I'm the biggest threat? And I was also frustrated because I had tried earlier to talk to my mates about the possibility of there being 2 idols, because we always thought that Malcolm had an idol. So that went through my mind immediately. And then I thought, okay, we got to make sure that they use these idols so that the alliance I put together continues to remain strong. And that's when you heard me make the comment I made.
Yes, because I was just going to say, so they openly admitted that they were voting for you to go home, but yet you still convinced your alliance to vote how you originally planned it, even though you knew that there was a chance that you were going home. Do you not regret changing the votes around to send out Dawn or maybe Andrea?
Well, the problem with that is that they would have heard us trying to change the vote. If I could have gotten my tribe mates to listen to me before we walked into that room, there's always a little bit of time when everyone's scrambling before you go to tribal. You've seen that on the air before. Well, we did a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And at the last moment, I was trying to explain to Andrea why we needed to do that. And then Dawn ran over, fell on the ground, started crying and saying, they're going to vote for me, they're going to vote for me. So it made it impossible for us really to execute that, even though we were trying to put that in place. So at the end of the day, I could have got up and looked like a real, you know, I think it would have been poor of me to stand up and say, let's vote for so-and-so, or let's vote for, it wouldn't have come off very well. They probably wouldn't have done it because they wouldn't have had time to process it. And so the most logical thing would have been to do what we did. Have us vote the same way we did, have me fall on the sword, if you will, and make sure that those boys use their idol, because I am about being true to my alliance.
Okay.
I would have taken my alliance apart if I had gotten to the end game.
Yeah.
But up until that point, there was nothing that I really felt that was going to be effective. And if you notice about me when I play Survivor, I try to remain what I call true and consistent to what it is that I'm doing in the game. And in terms of the character or the way that my personality, I won't say character, but the way my personality is emerging through this particular game. So in this game, I was playing a very honorable game. I was playing a very forceful game. I came to play, and I wanted to leave on that same note. I didn't want to leave with me making a weasel-like move where I'm buying, you know, I'm like, eject anybody but me. I didn't want that to be my legacy.
Okay, so let's talk about competitions, because you seem to have an interesting strategy when it came to competing, because if you didn't want to win, you wouldn't. How come?
Well, in the one challenge where you saw at the swap, when we had the fans over on my side, we knew that throughout the day they were scrambling because they knew they didn't have the numbers to find an idol. And Mike was very effective at looking for things, and he'd always come back with a pile of wood, which indicated he did pick up and look up, you know, was looking for a number of things. And he didn't make it a secret. So my philosophy was, let's try to get as many fans out on this side before we come to the merge. That means if they come together again, we'll still have the numbers of the favorites.
Okay.
Yes, some of my favorites could have moved over while they were over there, but I didn't think that would be the most logical and the most expedient. It would be probably the weaker people in the alliance that would consider doing that, like Eric. And there was concern that potentially Brenda might do that as well. So that was my strategy there prior to the swap. And then in that challenge where I didn't go, the one that I ended up going home on afterwards, I just physically, at that moment, was not feeling 100%, had not eaten in almost 14 days. And, we'd won the award earlier, 3 days earlier, and I consumed it so quickly, I didn't hold it down very good. So I was very weak, had my own emotional childhood experience that I talked about in the season. So therefore, I just thought, you know what? I'm not going to go here. I would have liked to participate in that, but I just wasn't feeling physically. When you're 54 competing against men that are 25 and 27 years old, it's very difficult to win that kind of challenge.
Yeah, for sure. So we have about a minute left. Do you want to give us a quick summary about your book, The Costa Rica Job?
Sure. The Specialist, The Costa Rica Job, as I said, the Canadian market is buying it in record numbers, is a very well-written book by my younger brother, Charles Peterson Shepard. And I went to him and said, listen, I have an idea for a book. You're a brilliant writer. Would you write this book? You're the one who can speak in my persona. So the character is based on my persona and my inspiration as a former federal agent who's now working as a guy called the Specialist, depending on your predicament and your circumstances in life. A woman comes from Costa Rica and says, my father's been kidnapped. I go there and I find out he's not a saint. He's stolen $90 million from the bank that he works at. In so doing, the Hezbollah and the drug cartels keep their money in that bank. And now they're looking for him, and now they're looking for the daughter to try to get to him. And since she's been in my offices, they're now looking and on a hunt for me. And in 48 hours, in 72 hours, I need to solve this case. And that's what the premise of the book is. Those that have read it said it should be a movie. It's not a spoof. It's not a, a funny novel. It's a very serious novel based on the premise of a James Bond-like movie, with the characters being very, very intriguing, and the protagonist, being very, very effective. So I think they're going to really enjoy the novel. There's comments on it on Amazon, over 13, where people have read it who are not, quote, personal friends of mine. These are people that have read the book and enjoy it.
I actually did read that this morning, so I will have to look out for your book then. And Phillip, I do really appreciate you joining me today here on myFM.
Thank you so much, and thanks to all the Canadian fans who keep sending me all these wonderful tweets. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
I will send my tweet this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Phillip. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.